Michael Kopech, Madison Bumgarner, and Adolis Garcia, 3 names that might be available on your waiver wire. Let's talk about it next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Monday, April 26th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White. And let's start off with Michael Kopech, who had 10 strikeouts on Sunday against the Texas Rangers, 14 whiffs on 87 pitches. Scott, he is 66% rostered in CBS leagues. The problem is he going to remain in the White Sox rotation?
Yeah, that's the question. Now, the plan was not to put him in the rotation at all this whole year because he hadn't pitched the last 2 years. So, the need came up. He went 3 innings in his first start. I figured that was the way they were going to approach it. To see him go 5 innings, throw 87 pitches, I mean, that's really all we want to know at this point because it seems pretty clear he's going to be good if he gets the opportunity. It doesn't sound like they're ready to turn over a full-time rotation spot to him. It'd be pretty easy to do with the way Dylan Cease has struggled this year. But it sounds like with Lance Lynn coming back in, at least according to Scott Merkin, one of the White Sox beat writers for MLB.com, it sounds like the plan is to move Kopech back to the bullpen for now and to keep Cease where he is. But it may only be a matter of time before that Cease is out, Kopech is in, maneuver happens for the rest of the season. Obviously, they're going to have to be careful with Kopech's innings all season. But if you want to pick him up in anticipation of that happening later, I don't think it's a bad idea. Even in shallow leagues, I mean, it depends who you'd have to drop, obviously, but it's something to consider.
How about Madison Bumgarner, who, no, we're not going to argue about whether or not the no-hitter actually counts or not, but he did throw a 7-inning no-hitter in a doubleheader on Sunday. He had 7 strikeouts at the Atlanta Braves. The velocity was up a little bit here in this start, Scott. 47% rostered is Mad Bum. He's at home this week against the Colorado Rockies. What is your interest level in Madison Bumgarner?
Well, it's lower than it is for Kopech. He did allow just 2 hits in his previous outing, too. So the last 2 have been pretty good for Bumgarner. And if he sustains the velocity that he showed in that, whether you want to call it a no-hitter or not, that start where he allowed no hits against the Braves, then, there's a chance he ends up redeeming himself and having a pretty good season again. I think it's a long shot, but if you're hurting for pitching, you could take a flyer on him.
Yep, I do agree, though. I would take Michael Kopech ahead of Madison Bumgarner if you're just looking for some upside there. Let's look at some waiver wire hitters, and we'll start in the middle infield, Scott. Kolten Wong had 7 hits over the weekend, including a home run and a steal. Nico Hoerner started all 3 games for the Chicago Cubs. If you just need a middle infielder, Scott, who would you rather have between Wong and Hoerner?
I want to take a shot on Hoerner for the upside. It's not clear that he's going to keep a lineup spot, but if he continues to perform like he has, if he continues to perform like he did this spring, frankly, showing more power with a new open stance, showing he could steal some bases. He is a fast runner, and he's a good contact hitter. That's something he's already shown in the majors before. So I think Hoerner is worth a shot for the upside. The Wong is there's a chance he has a pretty good season too, batting leadoff for the Brewers in a smaller park than he's used to playing in.
Let's move on to the outfield. Mention the name at the top. Adolis Garcia has 8 hits for the Rangers over his last 6 games, including 4 home runs. His teammate, Willie Calhoun, has started 3 games in a row, has 4 hits in those games, including a game-tying home run on Saturday. Raimel Tapia on a 7-game hitting streak for the Colorado Rockies. And Alex Kirilloff, who we spoke a ton about on Friday, he's still only rostered in 63% of CBS leagues, so he's out there, Scott. But among these 4 outfielders, Garcia, Calhoun, Tapia, and Kirilloff, who would you prioritize most?
I think you pick up Kirilloff for the upside, and anytime a top prospect gets called up and gets the chance he's getting, you have to really give it a chance to work out, because the upside, just by virtue of being a top prospect, that's the most likely impact player you're going to find on the waiver wire. I do think Adolis Garcia, for categories leagues specifically, if you're just looking for home run production, he'd probably be next on the list. But the plate discipline's horrible, so there's no reason to bother with him in a points league.
Yeah, if you need power, specifically in 5 outfielder leagues and those roto leagues, I think Garcia is definitely a name you should be looking at. At the corner infield spot, Austin Riley has 6 hits over his last 5 games, including 2 home runs. He's coming around. Same thing with CJ Cron, who had 4 hits on Sunday, including his 3rd home run in 5 games. JD Davis went 3 for 4 with his 2nd home run of the season on Sunday. So among Riley, Cron, Aguilar, and Davis, who's your favorite from that group, Scott?
It's Davis, who I liked a lot heading into last season. Just look what he did in 2019 to know why. He's elevating a little better than he did last season, which is a good sign. Still hitting the ball hard. Nice to see Cron heating up, but I'd rather go Davis.
Fair enough. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.